Hello, everybody, and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host, Logan Landers, and today we're going to be doing a very special player profile on two twin brothers in the NFL, Shaquem Griffin as well as his twin brother, Shaquill Griffin, who both play for the Seattle Seahawks. And joining me today, man, normally I got my guy Jeremiah helping me out on these, but I got a very special guest, my man Dylan Moran. How you doing, Dylan?
Hey, how you doing? I'm fine. I'm good.
Doing good, man. So why don't you tell people at home why I brought you on, why I think you're one of the best Seahawks fans out there, and why you just love this team?
I mean, this I've been with this team since I think 04, 05. I mean, diehard Seahawks fan. I don't know. I just always been attracted to them. I'm the perfect guy for this segment, man, because especially the two guys we're talking about. I'll never forget the day that Shaquem got drafted. It was a great feeling.
Yeah. We'll get into that a little bit later. We got to tease the audience. You know how we do this, man. But well, without further ado, man, let's get right into it. Be sure if you like this video, guys, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, like, comment, and share. If you're listening to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere you like to listen, thank you guys for listening. And, we're going to be bringing out more content for you very soon. And we're happy to be doing this, guys. So without further ado, let's get into our world-famous slide decks where we talk about some of the players. Got a few pictures up, guys. If you're listening to the podcast, don't worry. You're not going to miss any information. We got you covered. So let's talk about Shaquem. And so he's 6 foot tall, 227 pounds, an outside linebacker. He only has one hand, which is absolutely remarkable for him to make it this far in the league. He went to Lakewood High School in Florida. I know our man Bobby Butler is very well aware of that area and all the high school talent that comes out of there. So coming out of high school, he got offers from UCF, which is where he committed. Also, he got offers from Cincinnati, Toledo, Akron, and Ball State. So, Dylan, we saw him out of high school. He wasn't no slouch at all. He got drafted by UCF, who we've seen in the last couple of years really take a big stride in their national prominence.
Yeah, he's like you said, he's no slouch. One hand doesn't matter for this guy because his work ethic, you saw the videos when he got to the NFL. He's working out with his brother. He's doing bench press with one hand. I don't even bench press, and I have two hands. I don't know. So just the dedication and the fact that he got so many offers, just shows that was his work ethic. That's what he did.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the most. He's got an amazing story. It's absolutely incredible that he's been able to get this far. But without further ado, let's keep it rolling here, man. So he went to UCF, as we noticed, and let's just look at some of that. 122 solo tackles, 195 in total, 18 and a half sacks, 3 INTs, 4 forced fumbles. He was a 2-time first team All AAC in 16 and 17. He won the AAC Defensive Player of the Year in 2016. He was a second-team All-American in 2017. He also was the Peach Bowl Defensive MVP in 18, where in that game he had 12 total sacks, 3.5 for a loss, and a sack and a half. Dude, this guy was balling out for the Knights, man. Absolutely amazing. That Peach Bowl, he really, I think, kind of cemented that he wasn't a joke. He wasn't just, oh, look, it's a guy with one hand. No, this guy proved that he has some legit talent.
Yeah, once I figured out who he was, because I'm not a big college football guy. I don't watch a lot of college football. But once I figured out, hey, Shaquille has a brother, let me go watch him a little bit. And this was during UCF's big undefeated streak. They were doing a lot of things. And I started watching him play, I guess I think probably 2018 is when I started watching him in college. Just the amount of speed that he brought to that team off the edge. I mean, that's what you're seeing in the NFL. And it's absolutely incredible that he was just destroying people. No one could keep up with him. No offensive line, running backs were just getting pushed out of the way. He was doing whatever he wanted, and he was like a JJ Watt on that team. No one could do anything.
Yeah, like you said, like that JJ Watt comparison. That's not a bold prediction or anything. We looked at the stats, man. You see just how dominant this guy was. He was an absolute menace for that team. He helped them get that. Like I said, he got the Peach Bowl MVP, which is a heck of an accomplishment for that guy. And hey, let's not forget about the combine, because we know that the combine is where, if you're not going to be really like a high end talent, that's where you get some eyeballs on you. And boy, did he ever. A 4.38 40-yard dash, which was the fastest among linebackers. 20 reps on the bench press, which was at 225. He used a prosthetic hand to help him, but he still got 20 reps, though. And then he was drafted by the Seahawks in the 5th round of 2018. And just some intangibles I like about this dude. Obviously, he's got incredible determination, being able to get at least even past high school to get to college, let alone getting drafted with only one hand. Insane athleticism as well. We just saw with the combine numbers there. He's got incredible speed. He's very talented on the field. He's got that amazing story, which I will talk about with you in a minute. And then he's still improving to me. He's still got a little bit of time to learn. He hasn't played too much in the NFL. I don't know if it's coaches not wanting to take a shot. I don't know really what's going on with that. But we've seen that this guy is legitimate and that he can ball out. So what are your thoughts on Shaquem and his combine numbers?
I mean, yeah, just like his college stats, I mean, the combine numbers speak for himself. Dude has one hand and did 20 reps on the bench press. And then there's that speed again I was just talking about. 4.38, fastest by a linebacker. That's what he brings. And yeah, I think that might be why he's still a little unproven when it comes to the NFL, is because things change, obviously, when you get to the NFL. There's bigger boys that you're going against. And sometimes speed doesn't always get it done. And also, like you said, he's still got some things to work on, like some more pass rush moves. But just the speed, and we've seen it many times. And the one I go back to was his double sack with his brother against the Packers in the playoffs on Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that was a wraparound sack where he was on the outside, wraps around to the middle, and he comes right up the gut with his brother. And he's able to do that because of his speed. And you got to see it at the combine, you saw it in college, and he's still doing it in the NFL.
Yeah, just an absolute stud on and off the field too. We've seen that this guy is a heck of an athlete and even better person off the field. And, I love his story. It's one of a kind. I don't know if we're ever really going to see that again in NFL, especially with two twin brothers. That's what makes it even a little bit sweeter, because his brother Shaquille's doing his thing too. And, since we just talked about Shaquille, let's talk about the guy. Let's talk about Shaquill Griffin, his brother. I think he's the older brother by, 2 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got the slight edge on him. So Shaquille is
very slight.
Yeah, very slight. He's 6 foot tall, 198 pounds, and a quarterback. He's the twin brother, Shaquem. And he also went to Lakewood High School. Like I said, we're going to see a bunch of comparisons from these guys. They're pretty similar. He also got offers from UCF, which is where he went as well. Shaquille's a little bit higher recruited. He also got offers from Minnesota, Vanderbilt, and West Virginia, just to name a few. So Shaquille has a little bit more talent, but I mean, you can see he's got a little bit of an advantage because he does have the two hands unlike his brother, so that does help him. But absolutely, Shaquille is an absolute stud in of himself too, and we see that just with a few of the offers he got. Those are some pretty credible schools throughout college.
Yeah, I didn't know much about him when the Seahawks drafted him, but ever since he's been with the Seahawks, year 1, year 2, it's been a little bit of a dip this year compared to his past years, which is a little concerning, but he came out of nowhere. I mean, I don't know how many people were looking at him as a cornerback 1 for their team. And the fact that he stepped up into that role on this defense, there's no more Richard Sherman, Legion of Boom's gone, and this guy's just holding his own on his side of the field, and he's done a pretty good job. He's going up against people like, Julio Jones when we play the Falcons and Amari Cooper when you play the Cowboys. I mean, he's doing a great job over there, and no one really heard of him when he was coming out of college, but here he is making an impact on an NFL team.
Yeah, I know all about that impact he had against the Falcons. You know, since we're based out of Atlanta, so we know all the struggles that's been going on this year. But yeah, we just can't catch a break. What can I say?
Yeah.
Let's keep going with Shaquille. So in college, like I said, he went to UCF with his brother. He had 79 solo tackles, 113 in total, 6 interceptions as well, and 27 passes defended, which is what you love to see coming from a cornerback. He was second team All AAC in 2016. And his combine numbers, kind of shocking when I looked these up. 4.38 40-yard dash, which was the exact same as Shaquem. So they kind of they're twins. They're on their 40 as well. He also had 17 reps on the bench press.
Jump back in there, Dylan.
Yeah, I guess we got a little bit of lag. Yeah, 17 reps on the bench press. 3 less than his brother with one hand. Who would have thought? Yeah, it great numbers again. Oh, there we go.
Jump back in there.
There we go. All right, let's get it back, man. You gotta love internet.
Yeah, it's a wonderful world, ain't it?
It is. It's the best of things, and it can be the worst.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah. All right, let's run it back though. So, like I said, 4.38 twins with his brother, exact same time, and then he also had 3 less reps on the bench press. So, right after that combine, Shaquem went right up to him and. He was gloating, he got in. So, also a great athlete, like we see there. He also had some, there's obviously other combine stats as well. Those are just kind of two that you always kind of look at to see, kind of gauge a player. And you see that both the Griffins are very talented athletes, and that's why they both got drafted. So, like I said, Shaquille, he was drafted by the Seahawks in round 3 in 2017. So a year prior. He was a 2019 Pro Bowler as well. He had a great season. In his career so far, he's got 175 solo tackles, 216 altogether, 5 interceptions, and 43 passes defended so far. Now, I know you said that he's struggled a little bit this year, but he's still been pretty solid, pretty consistent. He's got 2 interceptions on the year so far. Could you possibly see this being a breakout year for Shaquille? If not this year, then possibly next. We know that with everything happening, that some of the defenses weren't able to get as prepared as some might have thought. So that might play a factor into why, it might be off to a slow start, why a lot of the NFL defenses have been kind of slow so far. Do you think he could potentially break out this year and have a heck of a year?
Yeah, it's weird because whenever you talk about, like, you get into the preseason, the thing everyone always talks about is, well, defenses are always ahead of offenses. That's the nature of the beast. But with the lack of preseason, everyone did expect, offenses to struggle coming out of the gate. And it's been the complete opposite, obviously. It's been a scoring explosion in the NFL compared to other years. So I don't know if the lack of an offseason might have taken an impact with him this year. He's had the past 2 games have not been terrible for him. But, the Seahawks are, everyone's seen the stats. They've given up they're giving up almost 500 yards a game on defense, and they're getting the top taken off. He's getting beat on routes. People like Michael Gallup with the Cowboys were just running past him all game, and it was getting ugly. So yeah, he's got 2 interceptions now. Maybe he's coming back. I don't know if it's going to be a breakout. I kind of thought this year might be a breakout year if it was a regular year without all the COVID stuff, but I guess there's always time. We're only a little over quarter way through the season. Maybe he just goes on a run here. He starts shutting people down, and the breakout begins a little late.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Like we said, it's going to be tough. It's tough for defenses to really kind of get situated. And we see that some teams are getting a little bit more prepared than others right now. We're I think 4 or 5 games into the year, so there still is some time to get it all figured out. But yeah, Shaquille, I think he's going to come into his own pretty soon. He's still very young. Like I said, he got drafted in 2017, so he's had a little bit of experience in the league. But sometimes it takes a little bit of guys to be kind of a late bloomer. They're not going to be studs their first year. Sometimes it takes them a couple of years to really kind of learn the system and kind of understand the NFL as a whole. Yeah, he still has room to grow, like you said. He still sometimes gets beat over the top and whatnot. But if he can figure all this out, we've seen the numbers at UCF. We've seen how good he was in the combine and how athletic this guy is, because he makes some great plays when he's on it. He could be one of the best cornerbacks in the league if he gets it all figured out, I think.
Yeah, he's in the system that bloomed Richard Sherman. And to be fair, if I want to be on his side, this is not one of the greatest defenses Seattle's put out there. The safeties, with the exception of this year, and now Jamal Adams hurt, but in the past couple of years, the safeties that have been behind him have not been very good safeties. And that's kind of what this defense is founded upon. No plays over the top, because you had Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor back there not allowing anything over the top. If the corner gets beat, you had great safeties to help you out. And that's why this year I was thinking, would be a great year for him, because now he got Quandre Diggs in his second season with the Seahawks, and then you bring in Jamal Adams. And surprisingly, when Jamal Adams was in there, that's when Shaquille was struggling more. But I'm guessing this is probably because of a non-regular offseason. So maybe it's the safeties get working with Shaquille a little bit more often. The communication gets a little better. Maybe things will even out for Shaquille, hopefully, because the Seahawks kind of need a cornerback one, a little bit better one. Cornerback ones are pretty important in the league, in case nobody knew.
Yeah, you're not wrong with that. But so, do you have any final thoughts on the Griffin brothers before we get on to a little bit of talking about you?
I just love them. Like I said before, when the Seahawks drafted Shaquem, I was just, I've always had this thing with Pete. And John Schneider. I know if there's like one of those guys that's always talked about in a draft, like Shaquem was the guy that was talked about in that draft because of the one hand, his story, Shaquille, everything. I just knew the Seahawks were going to draft him. And when they did, I was almost crying. I was like, this is just so cool. It's one of the coolest NFL stories that there could possibly be. And, I got that same feeling about DK Metcalf. I was like, man, for some reason, I just know Pete Carroll is going to draft this guy. For some reason, I know it. And then second round comes, boom, they draft DK. I just had that feeling. And, man, what a great moment that was. And I'm so glad they're on the same team. And I'm so glad that Shaquem's back after they had to release him. Whew. He's worked back from the practice squad again. It's great. Just great.
Yeah, a heck of a story. Like I said, I love these dudes as well. They're a great 1-2 combo. And hopefully they're going to be in the league for a long time to, help tell their story and continue to inspire all those brothers out there to try and get in the league and, everything like that. So I love these guys, and hopefully they can get it all figured out and have really good, successful careers. So Dylan, we got to talk about you for a little bit, man. So why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, what you talk about, and everything like that?
Yeah. So my show is On and Off the Field. My co-host is Durf. His actual name is Fred. If you don't know, Durf is just Fred backwards. But On and Off the Field. We're on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at OOTF Podcast. It's a sports podcast, but it's mainly NFL. That's kind of our wheelhouse. We have a segment literally called The Other Sports, where we just talk about all the other sports except NFL. Then we dive into that. And then we also have a charitable aspect where we cover off the field activity from players from all sports, whoever we can find. We talk about their foundations, whatever they might be working on in the community, if they got something special going on in the moment. And then we also do our own fundraising efforts. Right now, we're raising money for the Boys and Girls Club of America. All of our fundraisers always have $1,000 goal, so we're at like 310 right now. A lot of that came from our fantasy football league we're running this year, so that's going well. And it's a great show. You head over there. onandoffthefield.com is the website. It's got all the links, all the abouts, all the fundraisers, anything you could possibly want to know about the show is at onandoffthefield.com.
Yeah, you guys be sure to check it out. I was on the show about a week and a half ago. Absolute professionalism over there. Great show. Like I said, when you're talking about the other sports, I love that segment you guys have.
Just kind of sit there and like, yeah, baseball. I don't know. It's
yeah, I mean, it's there, but yeah. So yeah, guys, for sure, go and check out Dylan and his boy Durf over over his show. Great show, love it. Get them some numbers over there. Let them know that we sent you. Give them some love. For sure, I love the charitable aspect you guys do. Absolutely a great thing to do. And just first off, man, thanks for coming on the show. I enjoyed having you on. It was a great talk to have about your Seahawks.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And yeah, always come back whenever you want. I'm always here.
Hey, I love to have you back on. But well, without further ado, guys, this has been the player profiles on Shaquem and Shaquill Griffin, the two Griffin brothers, who are like I said, man, with the Seattle Seahawks doing their thing. So if you guys like this video on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch as well, be sure to like, comment, share. Give it to some of your Seahawks Facebook groups. Let them know that we sent you. Show us some love over there. If you guys are listening on the podcast, thanks to Believe for getting all this figured out for us. We're on Spotify and Apple as well, so thank you guys for listening. And without further ado, guys, we will be talking to you guys later in the week. We'll see you guys.